Councillors, welcome to our extraordinary meeting and thank you everyone for being in attendance. Today we have the public forum and we'll start with Anne Hallard from Batlow, and you have 5 minutes and then we have questions.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor Ham, councillors and council staff. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today in the affirmative to rescind in part resolution number M191/25 that the Batlow pool remain a council supervised pool throughout the 25-26 season for the same hours as the 24-25 season. I'd like to acknowledge the work the Snowy Valleys Council has done in maintaining facilities across our region, including the Batlow pool, which is a very valued community asset. Last year, the failure of the Batlow pool pump for 2 weeks had a significant impact on council's budget, and we recognise the efforts that were taken by council to have this rectified as quickly as possible, along with the extension of a week to the season to compensate for lost time. The loss of attendance numbers, totalling 468 people during this period, no doubt had a significant impact, given it was in the middle of school holidays in the peak of January heat for a total of 12 consecutive days. Additionally, the kiosk only operated for a third of the available season, further impacting income for council. We, the Batlow Amateur Swimming Club, would like the opportunity to run a full season with an operational kiosk to truly benchmark our performance. The Batlow pool is a critical recreational and social space for our residents, particularly our youth, as well as tourists and itinerant workers. In lieu of any bike paths, walking trails, gyms, or any other recreational facility, the pool acts as a vital resource. Very soon, it will be utilised by a very large number of HumeLink West employees and associated contractors who will temporarily reside both in and around Batlow. We are aware that HumeLink need to provide their employees with suitable recreational activities in their downtime, and the Batlow pool is the one facility that can offer this solution during summer. One of the key reasons we are united in our belief that the Batlow pool must remain supervised is due to the number of registered pedophiles residing in our small town. As of today's date, the figure is 7 registered pedophiles. Last year, the Batlow Amateur Swimming Club reformed after a long hiatus. We arranged a meeting with council in October 2024, and at that meeting, we updated those in attendance of our proposed range of programs and activities for the season. Those activities included the Murrumbidgee Local Health District supported weekly water aerobic sessions, weekly learn to swim lessons for all ages, fully funded lifeguard training for 8 local young residents, marketing and promotional activities, including a barbecue at the pool to raise awareness of the Batlow Amateur Swimming Club's proposed membership categories, as well as the Active Kids voucher system, and an opportunity for people to enrol in swimming lessons. This year, we are adding to the swimming club's offerings by supporting the Royal Lifesaving Learn to Swim program, Project Elevate. The revitalisation of the swimming club and its committee has been a great success for Batlow, and we want to work with council to increase resident engagement and attendance at the pool in a positive and proactive way. Last year, the operating hours were well received by the Batlow community. They met the needs of local families, school children, shift workers and seniors alike. We appreciate Council agreeing to consider retaining the same schedule as last year with a paid pool supervisor and lifeguard. The pool provides a safe, supervised place for physical activity. It helps with social interaction for all age groups, whilst offering a positive, healthy environment for local youth after school and during school holidays. The pool is one of the few central gathering places in Batlow, and this year we look forward to holding some community events to bring people together.
Thank you, Anne.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Anne, can you just tell me again, what are the operating hours now?
So the operating hours now are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
During term, and Wednesday as well.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Right.
Saturday, Sunday.
So 5 days a week.
And that's from 12:30 till 6 o'clock.
For 5 days.
No,
Did I,
3
sorry?
3 p.m. to
3 till
Yeah.
6.
3
But on weekends, it's 12.
12, yeah. Okay, so you get half days
during the week,
and
and on the weekends.
it's a longer extended
correct.
period.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Councillors, would anyone have a question for Anne?
And you mentioned in there about the canteen, the kiosk.
Mhm.
Do you think that the Batlow Swimming Club would be at all interested in taking on the responsibility of managing, running, and of course getting the financial benefit from the kiosk as well? Because I'm just trying to figure out, how do we reduce the number of lifeguards required to be on the facility at a time? Because if you have to have somebody who can operate the kiosk as well as do the other things. So I'm just looking at ways that maybe the kiosk could be run independently so that it doesn't become a responsibility of council.
Oh, I certainly think that we would be open to that option, most definitely, because I think a kiosk is a valuable asset to have within the pool precinct. So we have, as a part of our swimming club, we've got a large number of volunteers who have offered to help support run the kiosk. So I think that could be an option.
Thank you.
How about running the whole pool, like the Murrumbidgee model?
Well, James, you and I spoke on the phone about the Murrumbidgee model. Obviously, it's slightly different to our area because of the length of time. There's 22 weeks in the Murrumbidgee model, whereas our pool's only open for roughly 12 weeks. And so therefore I think the comparison in terms of our various shires would be, we'd have to really sit down and have a good look at what that could involve, because it would obviously involve less money for fewer weeks. And we'd also have to look at the insurance details, because the Murrumbidgee model talks about paying the council paying for pool maintenance, and also the council, paying obviously that staffing, that one staffing point. However, it talks about that person having to then employ people such as lifeguards in times of carnivals and so on and so forth. So that means that that person who takes on that role would have to have superannuation and pay systems and also insurance. So whether or not that would be able to be done by an individual for such a short period of time obviously involves quite a deal of research and investigation to see whether it would be at all viable.
Councillor Sheldon.
And thank you for hosting the Mayor and I when we were up there. Just a couple of questions. I was on the understanding that after that meeting, the Batlow Swimming Association was going away to do a business plan to work with council, and I haven't seen anything forthcoming. And the other thing that I noticed you mentioned was HumeLink. Does the Batlow Swimming Association have a letter of intent from HumeLink about usage of the pool?
Okay, thank you. For dealing with the first question, could you elaborate by what you meant by a business plan? Because I didn't understand that we were to put together a business plan.
Well, from my
And what was that business plan to include? I
that you
guess?
could come to council, well, the mayor was there and the mayor understood what I was saying at the time about a business plan that you could work with council to come up with an agreement of operations, not to go, bang, this is what we want to do, but working with council to modify any motions, whether they're like for instance, the after hours swipe card. That was just one, but to try and increase patronage
I think we,
of the swimming pool.
my understanding, I can see exactly where you're coming from, and that's what we were talking about, but we still had to get this rescinded first, so then we can start moving on. And that also brought up the idea that Councillor Thompson talked about with the kiosk and things like that. So that becomes all part of a business plan. But the first thing first was to get the status quo from last year returned.
Yes, after, I'd like to ask a question. There's a few options for financial, to improve the finances. One of them was the HumeLink. Has there been any negotiations with HumeLink to go into funding?
If I could speak on that, that's actually between Councillors HumeLink,
Okay,
and those discussions have started.
well, that's good news.
Yeah, and please, yeah, don't think that that's your role. That would be a bit tricky. Thank you.
Yeah,
Councillor Packer.
Clearly, we made the initial resolution as a way to try and maintain service levels but save money. Is there, it just seems to be looking at the dates, and I haven't got the usage figures in front of me, but is there sort of a middle ground where it could be supervised through the school holidays? If you're only open 12 weeks, probably 8 of those are going to be school holidays if you've got the summer school holidays and then the first ones at the end of summer. So have it supervised through school holidays, but through the midweek time during school, there would, I imagine, be very low usage there, and so have it as an unsupervised one there. So we sort of meet halfway. Does that seem like a?
I think one of the when we stand back and look at what we are proposing for a very small period of time, we're asking for supervision for a range of reasons, and one of them that we've spoken about has been youth security. We've discussed it as a club, and we are very concerned that in actual fact, under an unsupervised model, you've got a range of factors that play in, including unruly behaviour. So how do you monitor that? People who may want to do lap swimming, and they've got youth who may want to, use the pool freely. So therefore, involved in that is some type of community management within, those people at the pool. Then we've got the problem of how do you monitor what people take into the pool? So we're talking alcohol, glass, and other substances. No one's monitoring that. Batlow Pool is currently very isolated, and there's no monitoring devices there. So with the age lowered to 15, as council is proposing, we are very concerned about who is watching. So you've got a range of complexities, and not to mention, as I said, the statistic that we're talking about in terms of registered pedophiles is extremely worrying for our town and has been for some time. So on top of that, we've got a lot of itinerant workers now coming into town for whom there would be, no management either necessarily. So I think it's fair to say that we would be very concerned about what could take place. And even if there were security cameras put in place, who would they be monitored by? Council. And if they were monitored, half an hour away by the time an incident had taken place, it may very well be too late. So I think there's many factors that really concern us about an unsupervised model.
Any other questions, councillors? Yes, councillor Worth.
What would be the optimal opening hours that the swim club would be just remaining the same hours that were for last year?
Yeah, last year we felt, as I said in my speech, that the community felt that those hours worked very well. So they were reduced from the season before, but we managed to fit in our, water aerobics, our learn to swim. We want to work with council to actually improve engagement and participation. But to be fair, we haven't had a full year with the operational pump to be able to do so. So we'd like to be given that opportunity this season to be able to demonstrate and benchmark our performance against the same hours so that we can really, as I said, work cooperatively and collaboratively with council to make that one facility in Batlow really work, because we don't have any other health facilities, no walking trails, no gyms, etc. And during summer, we see this as a vital facility that we'd really like to work and keep open under the current model.
Councillor Sheldon.
So, and the association is happy with the 22nd of November through to the 15th of March?
That's correct, yes.
Now, and it will be hard to get the numbers because of the pool pump. You're exactly right, because it did drop the attendances down to, as we discussed at that meeting, 37, dropped it down to 37 visitors per day, which was quite a drop on previous years on the average, taking into account how long the pump was down for.
How long was that?
And also the year had been
Yeah,
shorter.
sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Days.
yeah.
Right.
The other, where did you get because that 468, where did that come from, that figure?
So that came, we kept records of attendees at the pool. So it came in at 30.3 or whatever
So we're
it was
pretty close,
over 12 days. Yeah, came to 468.
And can you remember what the hours were before they got cut?
I'd have to probably put that to my colleagues, but 7 days a week.
It was 7 days a week. Yeah. So within the last 12 months, we've already cut
Yeah.
4 days. Okay. Any other questions?
Just perhaps one for council, as in terms of the cost. Council.
We'll probably bring that up in.
That's for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
This is just questions directly to Angela.
There is one that wasn't brought up, the after-hours swipe card. I think Kevin raised at the meeting, the cost of that card was, and how long you had to wait for it. What is the opinion of the association now?
Well, I think the opinion is that if we can get the swipe card, as and when it's paid for, then that would be ideal.
In Batlow rather than in
in
Tumut.
Batlow rather than Tumut, and because there was a delay. So yes, I mean a lot of people were disadvantaged as a result of paying for the full season, but didn't get the card until several weeks afterwards. So if we could have that distributed in Batlow, that would be ideal.
And
Why does it take that long?
To the acting general manager.
If you're talking about the after hours swipe card, so essentially that can be applied for as of now. So we're just waiting on today, and council will advertise on its website. So you don't need to wait until the pool season opens. It's usually open, that application process is open months in advance. So all I'd say is not to leave it till the last minute. But essentially there's a whole other process that happens with the after hours versus the season. So you have to go to a induction, which has to be booked and things like that. So that's why we open it up early so people can apply, and that happens before the actual pool opens. But yes, if you apply when the pool's open, it probably will take a week or so to organise the induction.
So can I just ask though, correct me if I'm wrong, the comment that you've made is that you have to come down to Tumut to get the card.
Well, yes, previously, that's correct.
So moving forward, the seasonal passes can be purchased in Batlow, and usually the after hours cards are sent up to the pool with the pool supervisor. That's the usual case.
And just one last question that came up at the meeting, which has concerned me a lot. You feel there's quite a big safety issue with a ramp in the pool?
That's absolutely right, yes. It's been built such that people can get trapped behind it. That is of great concern. And, you know, I think it would be prudent to actually have that assessed, irrespective of whether it's a supervised or unsupervised model, because it's very dangerous.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for coming for support. Okay, we'll now move on to the meeting. We'll start with the acknowledgement of country.
Is there not a second speaker? No?
No. Snorri Valleys Council proudly acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of this land and water, and pay respects to their elders past and present. This meeting is live streamed on council website to allow the community to follow council debates and decisions. Member of the public participating in a meeting agree to have their image, voice and personal information, including name and address, recorded and publicly broadcast. Snorri Valleys Council does not accept liability for any defamatory remarks or inappropriate comments that are made during the course of the meeting. Any part of the meeting that is held in closed session will not be streamed. Councillors are reminded of an oath or affirmation of office they made under Section 233A of the Local Government Act 1993 and the obligation under the Council's Code of Conduct to disclose and appropriately manage conflicts of interest. Please ensure that mobile phones and other electronic devices are turned off or are in silent mode for the duration of the meeting, and no recording of voice or images is permitted by mobile phones or other electronic devices while in the room. In an event of emergency, please evacuate the building using the nearest exit and follow the instructions given by wardens. Do not use the lift. Councillor Larder, if participating in a meeting from an alternate venue, please enact the evacuation plan for that location if required. Thank you. So we will. Now we have a leave of absence put in by Councillor Inglis. He is unwell. Could I have someone move? Councillor Hayes, seconded Councillor Wirtz. Thank you. And Councillor Larder's put in for virtual attendance, moved by Councillor Hayes, seconded by Councillor Hardwick. All those in favour? Both? Unanimous. There's no declarations of pecuniary interests. Okay, thank you, councillors. I do appreciate you coming along to an extraordinary meeting for this notion of rescission. The fact that it came about was my fault, and appreciate your patience. Okay, so the notion of rescission was put forward by Councillor Ham, Hayes and Sheldon, and rescinding in part point 3 and point 5B, resolution M19125, relating to the 17th of July 2025 report 11.3 public swimming pools. A copy of the resolution is below. Yes, do I have a mover? Councillor Hayes. Seconded. Councillor Wirtz. Councillor Hayes.
Look, I think the community come to us and have said that they've got issues with this. I think it's probably time to sit down. You know, you've already done this, but sit down with the community and try and work out some sort of way to reduce costs of the swimming pool, because they are enormous. So we need to do that, and I think to do it collaboratively with the community is the way to go. They will know ways to save money and probably to keep it open for longer hours. I'm a great advocate of the model for the Murrumbidgee because I know it saves money, and that's what we're trying to do. I have major concerns about the last issue that was just brought up, which is a safety issue that's been identified as serious,
Yes.
which means the pool can't be opened until that's fixed because it's been identified. So either it's removed and not there, or it's fixed. I think that's imperative.
Thank you, councillor Hayes. Speaker 4,
Well,
against?
just seeking information. We haven't got a costing with this. So is it possible for council staff to give a rough estimate of what the change will make, just so that we understand the budgetary implications?
Through you, Madam Mayor, Councillor Packard. So to have lifeguards for those 3 days, I think it's about 3.5 hours, just depending on what programs are run, it will cost between 20 and 30,000
For the 12-week
for the
period.
12 weeks.
Councillor Sheldon.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Look, I'm a bit confused from the meeting now, but there was one other thing that cropped up, was the after-hours swipe card. If someone paid for a season ticket, to me, the logic is that should be included. There shouldn't be any extra charges, no matter what, it just should be. Bang, you got a season ticket, it gives you access to the pool for the season, full stop. In this case, I think it's from November through to March.
Acting General Manager.
Through you, Madam.
I'd like to comment on that.
Well, I'll let the Acting General Manager speak on it first.
So when you purchase a season ticket, it is for the entire season and you can access any pool in the LGA. So that's what you purchase, but it's for those times, those sort of, the standard operating times. If you purchased a after hours swipe card, it is to use that card for after hours. However, what council was planning to do for Cancoban and Batlow, essentially, the community could pay a season pass and then they would be given a like an unsupervised swipe card, which is included in the price. But if this was to move forward, they would still need to pay for the after hours like everyone else.
But a point of clarification is that the person would have to buy the season pass plus the $41 for the swipe card.
At the moment,
And
for the pools, yes.
Yes.
So yes, we're going to have two cards after hours. So for Tumba, Tumut, etc. But then there was going to be like an unsupervised one for Monday to Friday. Same sort of system.
Madam Mayor, can I
Just the
move that we
season.
go into committee because there's so many questions.
Moved. Do I have a seconder to go into committee? Councillor Sheldon, all those in favour? Everyone bar Councillor Hayes. Councillor Thompson, is that where we're at the moment?
I was going to ask a question.
Yeah. Councillor Wirtz.
Yeah, thanks. Is the season pass the entirety of all the pools, or is it just specific pools? So it's across the board.
Yeah, so it's across the LGA, any pool.
But the swipe card, you have to be inducted in each individual.
Each
pool.
individual pool.
Yep.
Mhm.
Councillor Thompson.
It's becoming really like a Pandora's box. Because I would have thought that if you have a swipe card for the after hours access, you would need to have a season pass because there's no one there to collect it. So therefore it becomes
Yes, that's correct.
redundant. So you have one or the other. So if you've got an after hours pass, then you have to have already purchased a season ticket.
That's correct.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So what happens if you have a season ticket and an after hours pass and you go to the pool when it's supervised? What happens if you use your after hours pass?
So
You've got the season ticket.
yeah, through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Thompson. What the motion proposed is up on the screen. So it's the swipe card access like between those dates, but essentially if you go during the normal hours, it's a season ticket. So you show your season pass. after hours, there's nobody there. So essentially it's a swipe card into the facility.
So if you go in during the opening hours, but you want to stay and do extra laps after the pool's closed, then it just seems really
This,
confusing.
It's worked
these
well.
swipe
so far.
cards, they only work for individual pools.
What's that say?
The swipe card, like if you get a swipe card, will that work on every pool gate or just
No.
the one that it's?
No, just individual pools.
So can you get?
Unless you get inducted into every pool.
So then it will update your swipe card to being able to open the gates. So you need multiple swipe cards for multiple pools.
This has changed.
It hasn't changed. So the same system, what's being proposed today is exactly the same as last year.
It's changed from a few years ago
When it was free.
when it was first brought in. Swipe cards would get you into any pool,
Yeah, as long as you were inducted.
as long as you're inducted.
Yeah, yeah, because I went and got inducted into 3 different pools.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I could be wrong, I can confirm, but that was just my understanding was the season pass was.
What I was trying to say before was that I see the swipe card as a luxury, being able to use the pool outside of hours, and therefore the cost of it, you're paying for a luxury item. So I'm quite
You're quite one.
comfortable.
Right. It's $41 for a swipe card, but if you've already got one, it's $20 to be updated.
Madam Mayor, the comment that I'd like to make is while I'm generally not in favour of rescinding fees and charges and things that we've already put in place because the budget has already been set. The difficulty I had with this one is that having heard all of the information and especially having 12 days in the middle that were not able to be utilised, therefore we couldn't get the accurate information. Then we have the added issue of the HumeLink workers. I just sort of feel that the opportunity to take this season to really say, if we get all our ducks lined up, what is the real usage of the Batlow pool? And the other thing that just strikes as a slight anomaly is the fact that we've got, I was on my phone a little earlier, sorry, just checking out something. We've got 1,270 people as a population in Batlow. We've got 943 in Adlong. We need to understand that, you know, within that population, if Batlow's given the opportunity to utilise their pool, and especially if they are of the understanding that this is going to determine the program of pools operation for the years to come, maybe give our opportunity to get some real information, some real statistics, and for HumeLink to demonstrate that, yes, they will support the local communities, not just in talk, but in action. So, as I said, I listened to the comments made by Anne Hallard earlier, and I think that, you know, that with the population, we just need to work with Batlow to try and understand how can we increase the patronage and to support the community with its only health sport. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, today I looked up the numbers of people living in postcodes. Tumut 2720, according to the ABS, and the way I looked it up, which is ABS, put in the postcode, 8,501. Adelong 2729 postcode area, 1622. 2730, 1335. And Tumbarumba 2653, 2,636. So there are your postcode numbers, according to the ABS.
Just a quick comment, if I may. The arrangements that were proposed for Batlow and Kinkerban weren't based on population, they were based on usage.
No, that's just a clarification, basically.
Yeah, so if you go back to 21-22, the Batlow usage was around 4,000 for the season.
Yeah.
That's dropped to 2,900, whereas Adelong, if you go back to 21-22, it was 7,500, and that's remained around 7,500. So,
with all due respect, that could be because people from Batlow were going down to Adelong to use the pool in the 12 days when the pool was closed.
2021.
no, yeah, so that's from 2021 till now.
It's also a destination to go to from Tumut because of the nature of the pool.
Yep. Councillor Sheldon.
I think the other thing is, whilst we're talking about the figures, we've all got to be cognizant of what everyone has said. This year is going to be slanted the other way with the inclusion of the HumeLink. So we've got to take that into mind, and it's going to be a couple of years until we can get back to the 4,000 or around that 4,000 usage, till we can actually get some really good data that backs decision-making or informed decision-making process.
And I'm also aware that the pool was open for 7 days and we cut it.
Yeah.
And there were people in Batlow very, very upset who said they would never go to the pool again because that was their understandably quite upset about what happened. And I do congratulate the swimming club that said, right, no, we want this pool and we're going to make it work within our council area. Councillor.
I just wanted to ask about the HumeLink and potentially asking Snowy Hydro in regards to the Cancoban funding opportunities. Has there been any avenues opened in regards to those negotiations?
Certainly, I've spoken to the community engagement officer about it, and she's open for discussion. And that's only been with HumeLink. But yes, as you allude to, there's quite a lot of work happening with Snowy Hydro down in Cancoban. It is something that we might be able to talk to with people from Snowy Hydro this weekend.
There's a big camp being built.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, there is. But the camp actually isn't. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that with Snowy Hydro.
Sorry, Councillor.
Move out of committee.
Yep.
Move out of committee.
Seconded by Councillor Shelter. All those in favour? Okay, so back into committee. Councillor Thompson, did you have a question or clarification?
Possibly just to find out from council, is it feasible? Is there the opportunity to approach the Batlow Swimming Club in order to be able to come up with terms of running the kiosk? Because if that's going to take almost a full member or a full lifeguard to have in there, then that's going to add to additional costs. Whereas maybe the swimming club or other sporting organisations will do it for Batlow or the members of the park, may actually be able to develop a kiosk committee that can generate income, but that would also reduce the need for additional lifeguards on top of the one who's in charge of the pools. And
I might direct that question to the Director of Infrastructure and Works.
Through you, Madam Mayor, Councillor Thompson, it's something we could look at. It's very close to season opening, so that's something that we can look at, and I'm happy to come back to council with what's feasible in terms of having the kiosk run by the party.
Thank you. Councillor Latta?
Yeah, look, the only thing I wanted to add was just to reiterate what Councillor Hayes said earlier, that there's been a very strong remark made by the Speaker in relation to the safety of the pool. Now, it might be a bit premature to be talking about it even being opened until we get some understanding of what that risk is, because if somebody can get trapped in a pool, which is what is being alleged, then in my opinion it can't open. And as you know, I'm all for the pools being free and open, but if there's a safety concern, then that's got to be the first priority here.
Thank you very much, Councillor Latta. Councillor Hayes, would you like to close debate?
Yeah, look, I'd like to thank the Batlow community for coming back to us, and I think this is the best result for the time. I don't believe our figures are going to be much use for the next few years anyway, given the potential influx of people from Transgrid. So we're just going to have to suck it and see for a few years and go that way. I'm not sure about how the canteen's going to affect it, and I'll be interested to see what the director comes back with, because we're looking for income. We're not looking to give income away. That's the other thing. Maybe a 5-star canteen might be the go and make a bit of money out of it.
Yeah, particularly. And I'd just like to thank you again for accepting this rescission motion, and thank you to the community for welcoming David, Councillor Sheldon and I into your community. we listened. Hopefully we'll act on that. But also it was at that meeting that I really did understand and I hadn't really thought about the ramifications of a camp of up to 320 people being 6 Ks out on the road. Okay, all those in favour?
No.
Everyone bar councillor Sheldon. Thank you, councillor. So is the end of,
We need to
You've got to
then,
move the
the
next one.
do I?
That's for the rescission or?
No, the rescission motion has been moved and seconded and voted
I do?
on.
Yeah, you
But
just
then
need
you've
to
got to
move-
do the
That's
recommendation.
Oh, the recommendations. I beg your
Which is
pardon.
essentially like a notice of motion.
Okay, so we have one recommendation,
Mm.
one with the two. I
Yep,
beg your
the
pardon.
hours, just confirming, yeah.
Oh, and that just confirms the hours. Okay, I beg your pardon. Do I have a mover?
Can I get clarification?
Yeah, you can move it first, if you like.
I'll
Councillor
move
Sheldon,
it. I'll move it if you want.
and seconded by councillor Wirtz. Councillor Sheldon, clarification?
My clarification is on the swipe card, because I feel very strongly about this. If people pay rates and pay a season pass, I don't think it's a luxury. I think it's their right to use a public amenity.
When it's closed,
Councillor Wirtz,
Yeah,
It's not closed because there's swipe cards.
it's closed.
It's close.
it's closed. Councillor Wirtz,
Just the paying for swipe cards is sort of important. Otherwise, people will lose the card, and then they'll be expected to get another one, but they've just lost the card. So it's a bit like a bit of responsibility, to hold a card. So if you have to pay $40 a year to get one, or $20 to renew it, it gives a bit of incentive to look after it.
any other speakers for or against? Does anyone want to close debate? Councillor Sheldon?
No, I'm happy.
Okay.
Not
Okay,
really, but-
with those two recommendations, all those in favour? Everyone bar councillor Sheldon. Now that concludes the extraordinary meeting. Thank you once again for your attendance.